Some of the most exciting moments in British touring car racing have been seen here at Knockhill in Scotland. Stand by for more today, starting with round 19 of the Dunlop MSA British Touring Car Championship. Commentary from Tim Harvey and Ben Edwards.
Thank you very much, Steve, and it's an absolutely fantastic day. That's the great thing. We've got a bone-dry track. I mean, this track is exciting enough in the dry. We don't really need the extra added ingredient of rain. I suppose we might get some later, but set up for some pretty stunning racing here, Tim. Tom Chilton, a great pole yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, who knows what's going to happen. Knockhill is the very unpredictable meeting, but we do have good, consistent weather. We do have the big curbs to be contended with. And quite how the car's going to fit side by side, as they always try to do, we don't know. But for sure, we're going to have great racing.
Well, there is Tom Chilton then. He's on that pole position. First pole position of 2011. The first for the Global Focus as well. But alongside him is Matt Neal, still the only driver to have been in the top four in every qualifying session this year. Well, we'll look at that second row, the two NGTC cars of Frank Rathel and Rob Austin. Then Gordon Shedden and Jason Plato together on the third row. Matt Jackson, series leader, on row 4 with Alex McDowell. Tom Onslow-Cole and Rob Collard are together on row 5, followed by Andrew Jordan and James Nash, both in Vauxhalls, of course. Tom Boorman in his Seat. He's got Paul O'Neill next door in the Goes Mobile Chevrolet. Then Aaron Smith making his debut. Dan Welsh in the Proton. Nick Foster and Martin Byford are together on row 9. Row 10, Jeff Smith and Andy Neat. Dave Newsham, who had alternator problems yesterday in qualifying. Liam Griffin is with him on that 11th row. Then it's John George and Chris James. So that's the lineup then for this one. Let's see if we can get a very quick word with Matt Neal. He's starting up on the front row of the grid for this one. Hey Matt, it's Ben in the commentary box. What do you reckon? Can you out-drag the Ford into that first corner?
Who knows, Ben? Tom's pretty good out the box, and they've got a strong engine in that thing, so it's going to be it's the NGTC cars behind us who I don't know how they're off the grid. I haven't seen their performance, so who knows.
Okay, we'll have a good one. We'll keep an eye on it, and we shall see. And that's a very good point, because one of the cars behind them, Tim, is a rear-wheel drive car, the Audi of Rob Austin.
Yeah, I mean, traditionally the rear-wheel drive cars do get a much better start. We saw it for many years with the BMWs. We haven't seen the Audi start this close to the front, but it's quite a narrow grid here. The track is quite narrow, and it's a relatively short run towards the first corner, and the first corner is blind and across the crest of a hill. So we'll have to see. I mean, Matt will be aware of it, and we're trying to block, but we do see cars trying to go around the outside.
Quite a long time for the cars to all get together on the grid. They've been quite spaced out on those two warm-up laps, so the guys up front are having to sit there for a while. Jason Plato, most successful driver here at Knockhill in terms of race victories, but Gordon Shedden has the home support, there's no doubt about that. He's had 3 wins this year, 2 previous wins here at Knockhill, and the 32-year-old looking to try and challenge this man in the championship. Remember, Matt Jackson here leads the points. Gordon Shedden is only a little behind, some 8 points behind. But there's the Audi that starts on the second row in the hands of Rob Austin. You've got 2 BTCC debutants this year on the second row of the grid, right up amongst the front runners. Away we go then, and away goes. A good start from Tom Chilton. Matt Neal chases down to the first corner. Rob Austin, the rear-wheel drive car, a reasonable start, and I think he's got into third. Yes, he has. Frank Rathel behind, then Gordon Shedden. And when it's spaced out start, I'm surprised there's not more side-by-side.
Yeah, but back together. That's Shedden getting together with Rathel, who comes back across the road in front of Plato.
And Matt Jackson's right there as well, the championship leader side-by-side with Plato as a result of that. Oh, and McDowell ends up being spat out of the middle of the pack into the gravel, and I think he's going to be able to rejoin.
That was just as you were saying how well behaved and spaced out they were.
The commentator's curse, as ever. But yeah, that was all a bit exciting, and Gordon Shedden has gained an advantage as a result of that. But it is Tom Chilton from Matt Neal, third place Rob Austin, then Gordon Shedden, then Frank Rathel, who survived, then it's Jackson and Plato. It'll move up the inside from Onslow-Cole trying to get past Rob Collard.
Yeah, Onslow-Cole dived up the inside, realised he wasn't going to do it, and just drove over the inside curb to avoid contact. So the front three, Chilton with a great start, great opening lap.
Yeah.
Matt Neal chasing him down, Rob Austin. And here we go back up. There's this still Chilton and Collard.
It's on, yeah, Onslow-Cole and Collard is the other teammate on Ford who didn't qualify so well yesterday, and it was this section. Oh, look at him hitting the curb on the inside, and you'll see more of that. We saw plenty of that yesterday in qualifying, so watch out for some more two-wheel motoring.
Yeah, apologies also, Cole, of course it is still trying really hard to get past. Oh, and Shedden's got through into third place, past Rob Austin already.
Wow, this is good stuff from Gordon Shedden in the early laps. That's what he needed, and he's immediately up into third place. Frank Raffel now attacking the Audi as well, having a look down the inside. It's the hairpin. Oh, and he's done it, I think. Rob Austin saw him coming, had to give him room, but look at Matt Jackson, he's there as well.
Yeah, Frank Raffel's dander was up after that contact with Austin earlier on, and remember the rear-wheel drive cars, although they get good starts, they don't bring their tyres up to temperature quite as quickly, and so the front-wheel drive cars have just been all over them on this first couple of laps.
Oh, that was brave by Jackson going to the outside, and certainly Rob Austin thought about squeezing him out. Look at the back of the Audi, it really moves around a lot more. Look at that, flicking out. It is rear-wheel drive, but it's also quite softly sprung, and you can see the back of that Audi really moving around.
Yeah, it always looks very edgy. Jackson's got a good run through here, might dive up the inside into Clark, and that's good driving, just carrying that momentum through the chicane. Plato's going to have a run off the back straight, but Austin's cutting back to the inside.
Did you see Andrew Jordan in the background? He was on two wheels and he so nearly went over on that curve at Clark, but he's dead surviving. Meanwhile, there's Jackson, as you say. Plato having a look at trying to get past Rob Austin in the Audi. Doesn't quite make it. Now, let's take a look and see if we can see what happened to Andrew Jordan. Oh, we just caught the end of it because he was really high, I can tell you.
Well, it looked like the gravel trap saved him because it actually lost a bit of grip from the outside wheels and he slid out and jumped the inside down again. But nasty moment that. I thought the drivers would have learned to qualify not to go over that curve.
There he is in the middle of that group there. He's got James Nash just ahead. So's Paul O'Neill in the Go Mobile Chevrolet. Behind him, he's got Martin Byford in the Golf. And he's chased by Dave Newsham, who had a horrible time in qualifying with those electrical problems. Now, Jason Plato sitting in 7th behind the Audi. Now, he's got a normally aspirated engine in his car. Oh, Austin gets sideways, but the turbo power of that Audi, the NGTC car, is quick on this sector.
It is good on this sector, but Plato's very good on the brakes. Look how he closes up here. Right, oh, he's got another car on the outside. That's Onslow Cole, and there's contact.
Oh, I tell you what, they've hit each other twice before here at Knockhill, Plato and Onslow Cole. They seem to have a record for it, but Plato and Onslow Cole side by side up the hill. They've dropped back from Austin again, and Onslow Cole has got past Plato.
Yeah, that was the turbo power pulling him alongside and past on the outside on the run up the hill. That is the hardest part for the normally aspirated cars, coming out a very slow hairpin and up a long hill.
So, battle recommenced between Onslow Cole and Jason Plato here as they come up over the John R. Weir chicane. Watch them over the curve. There's a bit of a lift there. It's the next curve that's really flicking people up if they use it. Or not always using it. They come in tight here. Look, yeah, they stayed off the curve there, but it was that curve where Andrew Jordan got the car so high.
Yeah, you can use the flattish part of the curve, the sort of painted part, the white and blue part, but then you use that raised bit and it really launches the car.
That's right, and those raised bits are new this year, so that's what we're watching for a little bit as we ride with Plato, tucked in behind Tom Onslow Cole, but it's up this hill where the turbo car's definite.
Well, you're seeing it on board there, you're seeing the Ford just disappear away. Jason told me he thought he was losing 6/10 of a second alone up that hill.
Wow, so certainly Knockhill is the type of track that favours the turbo, but different tracks are different, there's no doubt about it. Snetterton, it looked as though the normally aspirated
and
cars.
And through this section already, the tight twisty section, you can see Jason's actually closing up. Should be able to carry more speed through the chicane here.
Yep.
The car doesn't lift up quite as much and he definitely closes a little through the corners.
He's got to play the long game here. We've got 3 races today. We're only in the early stages of race 1. And so he needs to be thinking ahead. Both of them are beginning to reel in that Audi again of Rob Austin. But let's just remind you that Tom Chilton leads this race in the Ford Focus. Matt Neal is 2nd. Gordon Shedden is close behind in 3rd now, by the way. 4th is Frank Rathel. 5th is Matt Jackson. So there you are. There's 2nd, 3rd and 4th in shot. Rathel there in the Toyota with the damage to the front bumper. Behind him is Matt Jackson.
But he's not slowing Rathel down though, because the last lap he set the fastest lap of the race on lap 5, and so he's actually pulling up behind Shedden.
That's impressive stuff then from Frank Rathel. We saw a great drive from him at Snetterton last time out, and this new NGTC spec touring car, the new specification for this year, it really is coming into its own now. It runs a slightly bigger tyre, it's slightly more turbo, but it's a heavier car, so all the different combinations here at Knockhill, it seems to be making the car fast. Great little family run team, very efficient as well, with experienced Paul Ridgway looking after things there too. Oh, and off Scott Austin.
There's damage on the rear. He's trying to start it, but the rear toe link's broken. He's going to have to park it. That may well be a safety car as well, depending on if it's in it. Oh, and
that's Tom Onslow
Cole. Look, heavy damage. He's been into the wall hard there.
Yeah, or was there contact between them because they were catching that?
Well, that's
Audi.
more contact than car on car. That's been in the wall for sure.
Plato's still there, so Plato got away with it. So Plato's now up to 6th, under attack from Rob Collard in the white BMW. You're right, safety car is out, so safety car will bring them all together once again. Something has happened there, obviously, with the Audi of Rob Austin and the Ford of Tom Onslow Cole. Whether it was the same instant, we'll have to look back and see if we've got anything on that. James Nash is in the back of that group behind Tom Boardman, so he's running 9th. Paul O'Neill is 10th. Andrew Jordan 11th. Aaron Smith on his debut is running in 12th. And Dave Newsham now up to 13th as Rob Austin clambers over the tyre barrier, and his moment of glory is over in this first race.
All too momentary. I mean, this will give us a chance just to catch our breath. Looks like Onslow Cole's car is pulled off between Clark and the final hairpin, so it almost looks like he could have rolled it.
Wow. Let's see if we can look back at what's happened. We'll take a little look. We've got some footage. Let's see if... they were side by side, Onslow Cole and Austin. Yeah, contact was made. Right, then what happens? Off goes. So Onslow Cole must have hit the barrier on the right, did he?
Yeah, he must have. When they touched wheels like that, the rear left wheel was broken.
Yeah, back.
The rear left wheel was broken on the Audi, but we still didn't see what happened to Onslow Cole's car.
No, he was heading off right ahead of Austin, so the contact obviously led to him going onto the grass as well, and he, I think, hit the tyre wall very hard indeed. So, I mean, side by side through that corner here, Tim, is that's a tall order, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a difficult one. I mean, one of the aspects of the NGTC cars and in fact the Super 2000 cars is the wheels do stick out. So the days where you could run side by side and bang into each other, there you see Onslow Cole's car on the right. The days when you can run into each other, side by side, get away with it, are long gone now, and you very often will break either a steering arm or a rear toe link and cause that wheel to flap out of line, and then you're off. There's Rob Austin looking pretty cheesed off, to be honest, but he hasn't got too much damage to that car, actually.
No, compared to Onslow Cole, that's the one that's really taken the big hit here. So in the pits has gone Martin Byford. Problems on the Golf, that's a shame. Looks as though it might be a tyre problem. Certainly they've got tyres ready. Let's take a look back at the start now. Now this was on board with Gordon Shedden in the Honda, and you can see the two NGTC cars got away. The Audi was fast.
Yeah, I mean, Gordon didn't actually get a very good start. He held it on the clutch for a while, then got some wheel spin, so he ends up driving into sort of open space here, catching up very quickly, all straight down the inside of Rathel, and there's the contact.
Well, double touch, and that was a bit lucky, because if the Toyota had come right across in front of him, that could have been curtains for him, couldn't it?
Yeah, it did actually knock Rathel back straight as well. Yeah. And that got Gordon up to 4th, and it soon becomes 3rd as he passes Rob Austin a little later on.
Yeah, but it was a good first couple of laps for Shedden, no doubt about it. He is still in 3rd place at the moment. So it's Tom Chilton leading, remember. If you just watch the rest of this first lap, he caught quite a lot under braking. And there we are, riding with Gordon Shedden. Behind safety car, remember, so they're taking it fairly steady here. He's sitting in 3rd place. He's got Frank Rathel behind. But ahead of him is his teammate, of course, Matt Neal, who is still very tight in the championship between these two for 2nd. There are only 2 points between them. Both of them behind Jackson, but Jackson is down in 5th place currently.
Yeah, Jackson will be quite happy with that. He's got through some of the melee. He's got maximum ballast on, so he just wants to finish this race, get some points and lose a few pounds from the car. But so far so good for the championship leader.
Let's see if we can get a quick word with Matt Neal as he follows round in 2nd place. Matt, it's Ben in the com box here. It's going pretty well, but looks as though that Ford Focus ahead of you has got some quick pace here at Knockhill.
Yeah, mate, just struggling to stay with him this time, but he's got a bit of a weight advantage over in this one, and it looks like that's paying dividends for him.
And how's that hand bearing up?
It's okay, mate. It's cool, thanks. Just giving a bit of a stretch now. We've got a bit of a quiet time behind the safety car, but it's cool. Thanks.
good. Well, that's good news. Keep up the good work. And Matt Neal in second place, running with that broken bone in his hand. Well, nice to hear that it's not putting him off too much. I should think the adrenaline, as ever, proving to be a very effective pain relief.
Yeah, the most wonderful drug ever, naturally created, adrenaline. Yeah, I mean, he's 27 kilos heavier than Tom Chilton, and so I don't think he's expecting to challenge him particularly in this race, although he'll give it a good shot on the restart, I'm sure.
And we just heard that Frank Rathell's come in the pits. Now that's a big story because he was running in 4th place, so no, actually no, it wasn't Frank Rathell. No, he's still out there. I think it was McDowell.
No, McDowell just come back out. We saw him have that off on the start.
Yeah. Now, this was the start from Jason Plato's point of view, Tim. Obviously, no turbo for him.
No turbo, but he gets a good start, immediately moves over behind Shedden. Shedden has no challenge, so he takes a normal racing line. Then we'll see him dive up the inside of Rathell here. Quite a late move, and then touch the rear of Rathell, and then the front. Oh, that was where Jason had to get out of the throttle, and that lets Jackson through on the left.
Wow. Jason did really well to get out of that. He lost a place, but you're better to lose a place than you are to lose the race completely by being out of it, and that was sensible driving.
Yeah, he managed to get around out of that first lap carnage and keep himself in the hunt for points.
Yeah, and then let's just watch him down towards the hairpin. This is where the car's very good under braking, but of course first lap, cold brakes, relatively cold tyres. Neat and tidy through there, caught a little bit under braking. But then, of course, the Jackson turbo power just pulling him up the hill. Yeah, right down to first gear for that hairpin, and then a very quick change into second. There we are. That's the onboard view with Jason. The clear-up operation still continuing. They're getting Rob Austin and Tom Onslow Cole's cars out of the way, so it's a full lift there on Rob Austin's car because of the damage to the rear suspension. So they've got to get that car onto the flatbed and then take it away, and the other one I think has already been removed.
Yeah, I think the other one actually, although more heavily damaged, was still at least on its 4 wheels, so it could be towed away. But as you say, the broken rear suspension meant that the Audi couldn't be towed and had to be lifted.
So there's Onslow Cole's car. That's been put to the infield now. So that's fine, that's well off the track.
The interesting thing is the left-hand side of that car, which is the car that contacted with Rob Austin, because Rob was on his outside. Oh no, it wasn't actually. I think Rob was on.
I think he was on the outside.
Yeah, he was on the outside, you're right. So it was the damaged side.
Yeah,
there he is. Walking into the pits, shrug of the shoulders.
You can see that was a fairly hefty whack, that sort of reaction from him, and going to see the team. And well, very disappointing, but of course the team, from the other point of view, they've still got their car leading because Tom Chilton is still in front and he's been looking very good in these early laps so far. This new Ford Focus for this year, it's had a bit of an up and down introduction to BTCC, and certainly last time at Snetterton they struggled, but an all-important test session that they had since Snetterton before this event at Knockhill has certainly helped them. They've done a lot of work on suspension setup, particularly on the slow corners at Snetterton, and it seems to have benefited them here. So the lights are out on the safety car. We will be going racing at the end of this lap. They're still getting the Audi out of the way, but they can cut to the inside here, so that's fine. They can get the car well and truly out of the way. Good job by the Scottish Marshals and recovery crews. Well done to all the guys here this weekend, enjoying the biggest meeting of the year at Knockhill from a car point of view, and it's lovely to see the sun shining as well. Tom Chilton making sure that he's got a bit of heat in those tyres as he weaves the car around and now heads down towards the hairpin, getting ready for the restart. He's chased by Matt Neal and by Gordon Shedden. It's Ford versus Honda, and Honda with the Toyota of Frank Rathell behind as they climb the hill. Tom Chilton therefore gets the race going with the lead from Matt Neal and Gordon Shedden chasing behind them. Keep an eye on Matt Jackson, he's under pressure from Jason Plato, then Rob Collard, Tom Bourman, James Nash. There's a little move from Paul O'Neill just to defend his place from Andrew Jordan.
Yeah, it's the normally aspirated car of Paul O'Neill, the Chevy, of course, last year's Jason Plato car, still struggling a little bit on the straights against the turbocharged Vauxhall.
Yeah, and you can sort of look at Jordan again. Did you see him launch the car?
Very high. He's using the curves more than anyone, isn't he?
Yeah, really getting quite a lot of height. That's through Clark Corner, the next one. Yeah, he doesn't use the curves so much that time.
And he's not trying to qualify for his pilot's licence.
No, not just yet. John George has just done that, hasn't he? I think he's got his civil pilot's licence now as well as his private pilot's licence. Right, Collard, I think, is just... No, he's still defending from Boardman. And then Nash behind. Nash is the one who might gain a place here.
Yeah, this is where the action is, isn't it? All there, and the following group as well, led by Andrew Jordan.
Yeah, here comes Nash. He might have the inside line on Bournemouth this time. And yeah, through he goes on the inside. So good move that by James Nash. Can he hold it down the bottom of the hill? Yes, he does. And just a bit deep turning in there, which will give Bournemouth a little hint that he might be able to come back. But there's not the space, just one line really through these two corners. And Bournemouth's car really sliding there.
Yeah, he was taking an aggressive line through, not using the curb, so using a bigger change of direction, and that loaded the car up a little bit more. Of course, if you float the car over the curb, you're going in a straighter line. But I tell you, Frank Raffle's not being dropped by these two Hondas. In fact, he's now putting the pressure very hard on Shedden.
Yeah, he is. And also, Matt Neal's having to get quite defensive. Big lock up from Jordan in the background there as we go on board with Gordon Shedden. He sits in third place. He is ahead of Matt Jackson. He's got Frank Raffle between himself and Matt Jackson, but he does have that Toyota breathing down his neck as well as we follow them down through the Seat curves, through Leslie's, down into Scotsman, and they've got to be tidy and neat through this section.
Yeah, Gordon was a little bit quicker down the hill, but then lost a little bit on the exit. Watch their line through the chicane here, over the goal. Gordon very quick through there. Very quick, forcing Matt Neal to defend to the inside. Where's Raffle? Raffle could be looking up the inside. No, he's not close enough.
So this could be a chance for Shedden, because he's had a great run through Clark. He had the correct line going in, whereas Matt Neal had to go in tight, compromising his exit speed. But Byford's in trouble.
That's a puncture and damage to the front, and damage on the right-hand side as well. So he's had contact with somebody. Yeah,
absolutely. We saw in the pits earlier. No change. Matt Neal still second. Gordon Shedden in third. Frank Raffle close behind them. Then it's Matt Jackson still defending from Jason Plato. Rob Collard's in that little group as well. But look at the lead that Tom Chilton has opened up here.
Yeah, definitely. He's gone. Obviously zero ballast on that car as well for this first race. Shedden's looking very aggressive. The team will desperately not want to repeat at Moulton Park where the two cars came together, but you know, they're both fighting for this championship as well.
Yeah, they are. There's only 2 points between them coming into this race, in second and third in the championship standings. Here last year, Matt Neal pulled a move on Gordon Shedden to actually take a victory when that was sort of caught Gordon Shedden out a little bit. Oh, that's Newsham running very wide. I think he'll get back on okay. And I think Gordon Shedden quite like to return the favour on Matt Neal here today.
Yeah, and of course Gordon Shedden's actually in front in the points, so there's absolutely no reason why he should hold position, particularly for the team.
That's right, but as you say, they don't want that embarrassment of Moulton Park. Now, Andy Neat has moved up a little bit throughout the course of all this. He's now in sixth. Oh, he gets a little tap from Jess Smith, and now Newsham gets squeezed out. It's all a bit full down there.
Yeah, McDowell trying to get through, plus Dave Newsham, John George in the thick of action. He'll be enjoying this. Side by side, Jeff Smith and Andy Neat.
Yeah, Andy Neat on the outside. He's in 14th place, but not for any longer because Jeff Smith snatches the place with the Vauxhall on the inside. And Andy had a tough day yesterday, so he's just trying to get back into his rhythm, get the feel of the car. They've made so many changes to the Team A on Focus, but do you think he's still getting the feel for it? Is that the Golf?
Yeah, that'll be the Golf with a clump of Knockhill dirt hanging out the front.
Meanwhile, Shedden's only under attack from Frank Raffle, so from being attacker, he's now defender, because Frank Raffle, as we said earlier, has caught the back of these guys and is now putting Gordon Shedden under more strenuous pressure. Matt Jackson still behind with Jason Plato following, and across the line they come.
And the last sector, which is the run up to along the straight from Clark to the final hairpin and up that hill start-finish line, is where Raffle was the quickest car out of every car in qualifying. So that's his strong sector.
Shedden's caught back up to Matt Neal though here. Look at this, he's right in the mirrors of his teammate as they come up over the chicane. Again, he gets great momentum, but has he got enough speed to cut in? No, because Matt Neal defends. He goes to the middle of the road. And Matt Neal's so good at being able to turn in here and keep the speed. I'm sure he's lost just a little bit of momentum. Shedden can't quite take advantage of it.
No, it's quite a sort of long corner, that Clark corner, with only one line through it. So it's actually very difficult to carry a huge amount more momentum through there, unlike the previous chicane, where a slight difference in line and approach can really reap dividends.
But look how all of this is allowing the others to close up, because it's allowed Matt Jackson and Jason Plato to join the back of this queue now. Flashing lights on Matt Jackson's car. Plato not so much, because he's defending from Collard.
Yeah, that's true actually. Jackson could actually reap some good points out of it.
Yeah, and that's important for the series leader. Just seen Dan Welsh in the Proton in the pits, by the way, so no slight problem on that car. But let's just see what Plato has got here versus Rob Collard. Both normally aspirated cars, so advantage engine-wise, but behind them they do have a turbocharged Vauxhall, that of James Nash, as Plato's struggling a little bit for speed, and Collard really beginning to put him under serious pressure as they head up towards the hairpin this time. And Collard always good at making the late braking manoeuvre, but Plato defending the inside here. Yeah, but the BMW should be very good off this corner. Rear-wheel drive puts its power down well coming off the corner. Look, there you go. He nearly gets a little bit of an overlap, but certainly if he could time that right and get a good line and a cutback, there's a possibility he could just sneak a nose up the inside of Jason on the exit of that corner. Yeah, that Chevy pulling well up the hill though, and just getting the extra little bit of speed that he's required. Up ahead is still Matt Jackson putting Frank Rathel under pressure, and Plato a bit deep there, and Collard's got a chance here. Collard side by side. Oh, and he's taken it. That was a little mistake from Plato, who cuts across the grass, and now he might be passed by James Nash. Oh, it's all gone wrong for Plato here, as he's lost another one, and maybe another one to Tom Boardman. Yeah, Plato and Jackson were side by side approaching the chicane, and Plato decided to take the across the grass and completely short-circuit it, which let Jackson through, and then of course two other cars as well. So all change for Jason Plato, and Collard's taking full advantage. Andrew Jordan at the back of the group now. He's going to try and do the same. So that all went wrong for Jason Plato, but it looked like it started with a little slip up from his point of view. It was his mistake. Yeah. He out and braked himself at the bottom of the hill and ran wide at the right-hander before the dip of the chicane. Watch this, he runs wide here, comes out, runs wide, Collard gets up the inside, they're side by side down through the dip. Jason then elects to go right across the inside, look at that, and lost too much time on the exit. Had to go down an extra gear as well to get the car going. Yeah, I bet there was some colourful language coming from beneath the crash helmet on that one, but as you say, there was only himself to blame, and the good thing is they kept it clean out of there, pop over the curve. Matt Jackson now finds himself chased hard by Collard and Nash, so Jackson seems to have dropped a bit of ground on this lap. He was right on the back of Frank Rathel at the end of the last lap, and he's had a big look up there. That's going to cause a huge flat spot. He's not even going to stop. He's got a puncture. Yeah, he must have had a puncture. Yeah. That's why he couldn't stop the car and drop back. I think he had a slow puncture in the right front tyre. He's going to reverse out. Well, if he can rejoin, he's desperate to get points. Yeah, desperate to get points. The championship leader in big trouble. Yeah. He got the puncture. This is with Collard. Yeah. Oh, goodness me. Yeah, well, that's where he would have got the puncture. That's why he dropped back and couldn't stop the car. Right, so it's all changed, and the championship complex has certainly changed now, because after Matt Neal had a horrible time at Snetterton last time out, remember that incident with Jason Plato at the first corner, then a puncture in race 2. Matt Neal came away with very few points from Snetterton, but now the championship leader Matt Jackson is in the pits. There's a shake of his head. What a disastrous start to the day for him after running so competitively. He can't believe what's happened here, and their advantage in the points has just been taken away from them, and Honda are back on the march. They're second and third with Matt Neal and Gordon Shedden. It just shows how quickly it can change. I said this meeting was very unpredictable. Jackson was having a great race, steadily moving his way forward, and then in an instant it can all go wrong. Yeah, absolutely. But don't forget that Tom Chilton is the man leading this race. There's Plato still defending from Tom Boardman and Andrew Jordan. He's in 7th. So still useful points for Plato. He can't afford to lose any more places though here. He's got to try and stay ahead of these guys, whatever it takes in the remaining couple of laps. And Plato, I'm sure, will defend resolutely from Boardman in the Seat and from Andrew Jordan in the Pertec Vauxhall. Behind them, by the way, is still Aaron Smith. Aaron Smith heading for points on his BTCC debut. That's a great effort in the number 88 Vauxhall. Nick Foster's 11th, Paul O'Neill is 12th, and at the moment McDowell is 13th. I'll tell you what, Aaron Smith doing a really good job, very close to the pace of his more experienced teammate James Nash, and I don't think Aaron Smith will want to get back in his Clio after this weekend. No. He'll consider himself a touring car driver now. He must be loving it. So second, third and fourth, here we go, as it's still Matt Neal from Shedden, from Frank Rathel. Let's not forget that, again, this is an outstanding effort from Frank Rathel. He did get a 4th place last time out at Snetterton, best result of their season so far. Then they suffered some overheating problems in the other races, but right now that car is running very well. Yeah, but the quickest of that bunch is Collard. Look how Collard has shot up behind them, and you can always rely on Rob for a late charge, and he's going to have one more lap to try and do something. So Matt Neal into the hairpin. Raffle closes up. Collard sensibly looking for the exit that you were talking about, using that rear-wheel drive traction advantage as we look on board with Matt Neal. Tom Chilton has already started the last lap though, and Tom has a lead of 5.7 seconds over these guys. Fantastic effort this from Team Aon. Oh, what a transformation they have made to that Focus after their testing at Snetterton. But this group for second, third and fourth could still change.
It could, but I mean, as easy as this has been for Tom Chilton, don't forget he'll be starting from pole and carrying 45 kilos extra in the next race. It won't be as easy then.
No, it won't. So they'll be learning all the time. They didn't even know how this car would perform over a race run. They never did a race run on the revised settings that they learnt at Snetterton. They had no idea how well it would go. Well, I tell you what, it's done pretty well. He's going to head for victory. He's had pole position. He's taken fastest lap, and he's going to come through to take his first win of the 2011 season. Tom Chilton wins. It's the first win for the Global Focus, his first win at Knockhill. So well done to Tom Chilton.
Yeah.
And Matt Neal finishes second, Shedden third, ahead of Rathel and Collard.
Yeah, Chilton did his fastest lap on lap 15, so that's very impressive from a front-wheel drive car. Great points for the Honda duo, Neal and Shedden. Disaster for Matt Jackson, and a great result, fourth for Frank Rathel.
Yeah, another good fourth place there. The rest of them coming. McDowell, I think, got O'Neill on the line, so McDowell up to 12th place there. But Tom Chilton taking a victory here, the first this year for the Fords. Of course, he had several wins in the Ford when it was LPG powered last year. But Ford, the most successful manufacturer in the British touring car history, with well over 200 race wins to their credit. That's another one to add to the tally. And for Tom Chilton, a real return to form for Chilton. It's lovely to see that. He's lost a lot of weight, by the way, between the race at Snetterton and here. He was mortified to find that he'd put on more weight than the other drivers at their mid-season weigh-in, and so he's worked hard, he's lost it, and what a result he's come with this weekend.
I know the problem very well. I just haven't found the solution that he has.
You better go and talk to him about his diet. Yeah. Well, well done to Tom Chilton, to the team, but of course, a bit of a highs and lows for them, because Onslow Cole's car is going to take a lot of work to get it out for race 2.
That looked very damaged.
So, in front of a fantastic crowd here at Knockhill, Tom Chilton takes victory, but the Hondas, in terms of the championship, have delivered exactly what they needed. Very solid points. They have seen Matt Jackson fail to score any points at all, and this is surely, therefore, going to put Neal and Shedden back into the top of the table, and I think they'll be virtually tied, won't they now?
Yeah, they will be. I mean, it's the perfect result for them. Certainly, you know, once they saw Jackson out, I'm sure Steve Neal from the pit wall has said to them, guys, hold position, we're going to get good points here, and they'll be delighted. That's a perfect start to the first race.
Yeah, and this championship could well be between the two teammates at the end of the day. Tom Chilton wins the race in a really dominant fashion from the two Hondas of Matt Neal and Gordon Shedden. Frank Rathel finishes fourth ahead of Rob Collard, who drove really well to move up to fifth. James Nash a solid sixth ahead of Jason Plato. Tom Borman eighth, Andrew Jordan ninth, and on his debut, getting in the points, Aaron Smith. Outside the top 10, we saw Nick Foster and Alex McDowell, Paul O'Neill, Andy Neat and Dave Newsham. Jeff Smith fought hard but had to settle for 16th, ahead of John George, Chris James, Matt Jackson, championship leader, failing to score, and Martin Byford. So this is what it means in terms of the points then. Matt Neal and then Gordon Shedden, as I thought, are now tied at the top. 2 points ahead of Matt Jackson. Jason Plato still very much in the hunt, as is James Nash. Andrew Jordan there in 6th place, and Andrew Jordan and James Nash they'll have been boosted by seeing Jackson fail to score, because they're all battling for the independence points win as well. So that retirement, well, not retirement, but that failure to score points for Jackson was absolutely crucial, and you've got a feel for them with that happening to them at this stage of the race. All set to go for this second race of the day, and Tom Chilton, of course, looking to try and take it 2 out of 2, but he's now got the ballast on board that car. And next up, of course, you've got Matt Neal and Gordon Shedden, who are pretty determined to try and prevent him from making 2 wins out of 2. Tim, I know you've been looking up and down the paddock a little bit. We've talked, Louise has already talked about some of the incidents in that race. Thankfully, all the cars are back on the grid, including that one of Tom Onslow Cole.
Yeah, looked very badly damaged, didn't it? But the arena team done a fantastic job to get that car back on the grid. I hope it's all straight and true. And I mean, Tom was very aggressive right from the start. We saw him up on the curbs and really attacking the racetrack and everything else. So, we'll see if he can get a cleaner run through the traffic. The car is obviously very quick. It's the same car as Chilton had with zero ballast on it in the first race. Be interesting to see how Chilton now copes with 45 kilos and be interesting to compare his fastest lap with the first race.
Yeah, because he was impressive and he did it late in the race as well. So let's see, as the cars go away on the formation lap, let's confirm exactly how they are sitting on the grid for this one. It is Tom Chilton then on pole position, looking for 2 out of 2. Matt Neal alongside him on the front row of the grid, carrying 36 kilos of ballast. Second row, Gordon Shedden and Frank Rathel in the NGTC Toyota. Behind them, Rob Collard with the BMW and James Nash in the 888 Vauxhall. Then Jason Plato with Tom Boorman next door. Andrew Jordan, who had a power steering failure in the first race, although he still finished. He's got Aaron Smith alongside, then Nick Foster and Alex McDowell on the 6th row. Row 7, we've got Paul O'Neill and Andy Neate. Dave Newsham and Jeff Smith together on the 8th row, then John George and Chris James. And then as we go further back, some of those that were in trouble earlier on. Matt Jackson, who was leading the championship, now sits 3rd because of the 2 Honda guys are tied at the top. Martin Byford on that 10th row as well, then Daniel Welsh, Rob Austin in the Audi, Thomas O'Cole, the guy he had the contact with, and Liam Griffin there on row number 12. And as they head around the track at the moment, absolutely glorious conditions. The sun has come out this afternoon as well, so the fans here at Knockhill this afternoon enjoying the colours and the show. Let's see if we can get a quick word with Gordon Shedden. Now he's starting 3rd place this time. Gordon, it's Ben in the combox here, so starting 3rd this time, what do you think you can do? Is Tom Chilton going to struggle with the maximum ballast this time?
Hi Ben, obviously Tom now gains 45 kilos and I lose a little bit, so it'll be interesting to see, but he had really good pace in the first race. My car felt really hooked up, to be fair, just got caught a little bit behind Matt, but hopefully I can have a good clear run in this one.
So now, yeah, you and Matt tied in the points at the top. It's incredibly close between the two of you, but presumably it's still down to each of you to score what you can.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't take each other out and score the points as and when we can. So still a lot of racing to be done in this championship, and got to be in it to win it at the end. So keep trying to score as much as possible.
Okay, have a good race. So Gordon Shedden there, just getting ready. It's quite an enticing prospect with the 2 teammates absolutely tied on the top of the table. And there's so little to choose, isn't there, between Matt Neal and Gordon Shedden?
There really is very little to choose from. They're both completely on top of their machinery. They're both completely in sync with their team. It probably is going to come down to Lady Luck at the end of the day in terms of one of them having 1 or more non-finishes and losing some points, or a mechanical or an accident. But they're very evenly matched at the moment. But you pretty much feel that whoever finishes in front of the other one in this race is going to be leading the championship.
Indeed. Just look at this crowd, Tim, isn't it fantastic? In the sunshine here this afternoon at Knockhill. This circuit, it opened in 1976, but it's so much established itself as the home of Scottish motorsport, and the support here today is just tremendous.
It's the biggest I've ever seen, and that'll be one relief to Gordon Shedden. As we said, he's commercial manager here. At least he won't be worrying about turning a profit at the meeting here.
Too right. No, that's he'll be very happy, I should think, to see those big crowds. And of course, many of them are supporting him as the local man to see what he can do. Maybe take another victory and maintain that charge in the championship. Certainly looking for his 4th win of the season. But Tom Chilton is going to be tough to beat if that performance of the Ford Focus in race 1 is anything to go by. He did get off the line well. Let's see whether he can repeat that good start, or perhaps Matt Neal is going to challenge him a little more into the first corner. Don't forget the Toyota of Frank Rathel. That car still looking for its first podium. It had an independent victory, but a 4th place at Snetterton at the last event. But it's clearly very fast here at Knockhill. It suits the NGTC car. And a few cars to watch from the back. The likes of Tom Onslow Cole coming from the back. So is Rob Austin in the Audi, the 2 that made contact earlier on. And of course, Matt Jackson right down towards the back. He's on the 10th row of the grid. He's got to fight his way up. Obviously, he's got to try and get in the top 10, and then perhaps on the reverse grid, get the big points in the final race of the day. All set for round 20 to get underway here at Knockhill. It's Tom Chilton versus Matt Neal off the front row. Away we go, and again Chilton gets a very clean getaway. Matt Neal goes with him. Shedden slotting into 3rd. Collard is going to beat the Toyota, I think, into the first corner. Rob Collard using that rear-wheel drive advantage of the BMW, getting in front of Frank Rathel as they turn into the first couple of corners. But again, look at Chilton go.
Yeah, he's made a great start, very even start all the way at the front. Collard making a good start as customary on the BMW, and Plato getting up the inside of Nash as well on the run to the first corner.
So place gained by Plato. Now can they get through this sectional? Okay, looking good so far. And up to Clark corner where we've seen a few incidents already. Jackson clearly trying to make some ground early on. He's up behind Jeff Smith in the white Pertec car at the moment, as Frank Rathel on the attack of Rob Collard, then Plato behind, who's got James Nash and Tom Boardman both bearing down on him. Remember, this is the section of track where Plato feels he misses out from the turbo cars. He's got the power up the hill. You're on board with Plato. Chilton has crossed the line, 1.3 seconds ahead. Look at Frank Rathel ahead. Frank Rathel's got alongside the BMW and he's through. He's got past into 4th place.
Yeah, we said on the race one, that section of the track is where Frank Rathel was quickest in qualifying of every car. So he was using the strength of the turbo engine there to put him past the normally aspirated BMW.
Yeah, lovely start. Oh, and off's gone Alex McDowell.
He might get that out. The front wheel's just on the edge. Yes, he's going to get that going.
Well, that's good news. So at least we don't get a safety car at this part of the race. Little leap over the curb there from Rob Collard. Not quite the height that we've seen from one or two others, but nonetheless he did get a bit of lift on the inside on those new sausage-shaped curves. And Jason Plato and Rob Collard now absolutely together. And of course there was a little bit of contact between them in the earlier race. Meanwhile, Andrew Jordan trying to get the inside of Collard's teammate there, Nick Foster, as they come out of the hairpin.
Yeah, both the BMWs suffering as we expected at the start of the race. They can't get their tyres up to temperature as fast as the front-wheel drive cars, and both Collard and Foster coming under attack. I mean, Rathel has absolutely shot away from Collard on that lap.
Yeah, and in the background, Jordan did get past Foster, and I think he was followed through as well. Let's just take a look on the first lap with Jackson tucked in behind. Oh, that was Alex McDowell. Okay, going off to the left.
Yeah, just got a little touch and a big swap. Oh, and some further contact there between Jackson and O'Neill.
I think it was, yeah. They were 14th to 15th as they came past us, O'Neill and Jackson. We'll see whether they've made any progress on this lap. Plato just moving out of line slightly, defending from Tom Boardman. They're running 6th and 7th. James Nash is 8th. Andrew Jordan is up to 9th. Bit of a lock up there from Jordan. He's chased by the new guy, Aaron Smith, doing a fantastic job in another of the Vauxhalls. That's the other 888 car. Teammate to Jeff Smith. Oh, Plato and Boardman there. That looked a bit tricky.
Yeah, Plato moving over to cover the inside for Boardman, and Boardman a little bit of contact at the back, but fortunately Boardman backed out of it, and Plato holds that position on the run where he's so vulnerable at that start-finish line. Yeah,
I think Plato will be quite happy that Boardman's also having to work to keep James Nash behind him. So that will work for Plato, I'm sure. Boardman sliding his way up through the John R. Weir chicane up towards Clark Corner now. Behind James Nash is still Andrew Jordan and Aaron Smith, the youngster out of Clio's, straight into British Touring Cars this weekend, and certainly impressing us so far. He was in the points in his first race. There's 2nd and 3rd and 4th. Frank Rathel right with the 2 Hondas. Now, is he going to attack a bit harder this time?
Well, he's got the whole race in front of him, and he'd be silly to sit there and do nothing. He's got some speed in that Toyota Avensis, and he's got a whole race in front of him to have a go.
Yeah, that's right, and the track really suiting the car this weekend. They've made such good progress with it over the last couple of events, down through the first couple of corners. Tom Chilton's advantage up to 1.6 seconds. You're on board with Gordon Shedden in 3rd, right on the boot lid of his teammate Matt Neal as they come up over the chicane. Oh, and Matt just hops the curb a little bit. It did look in the first race, Tim, as though Matt was struggling to be quite as quick as perhaps Shedden was capable of going.
Yeah, there are places where Gordon is much quicker, or slightly quicker, sorry, than Matt, and places where Matt is slightly quicker, particularly through there, through Clark Bend. Matt takes that tight line but comes off the corner really well, and then at the end of the lap Gordon catches up a little bit, and then through the first section and the chicane Gordon is very quick.
Yeah, absolutely right. Up the hill they come this time. You can still see Tom Chilton up ahead of them, but he's just gained another 1/10 of a second or so on that lap. Now look at this, 3 abreast. Martin Byford on the inside, Tom Onslow Cole in the middle briefly. Martin Byford held sway there. He's in 18th place, in fact 17th I think now, that he's got in front of Jeff Smith. Oh, and look at the height Onslow Cole got there.
Yeah, of course, if you're following a car that closely, you're quite unsighted and can't see exactly where that high curve is.
That's right, so even easier to clip it. Now Matt Neal still defending from his teammate Gordon Shedden. You do feel that both Shedden and Frank Rathel are able to get past if they will go further if they could get past Matt Neal. Frank Rathel has a little think about trying to pass. Matt Neal slight lock up on the brake. No change there for the moment. Second, third and fourth, Honda and Toyota. Back up the hill they come again, and we're back on board with Gordon Shedden. Great news this week that Honda are getting involved with this team once again next year and building a brand new NGTC version of the new Civic, Tim. But right now it's the old Civic here that's still showing.
This is where Gordon's really quick in this section, and then through the following section, not this bit, but the following bit through the chicane, Gordon has a really quick line. He carries a bit of speed, comes off the brakes early, gets the car down on the ground, and he drives through there really quickly. Yeah, but Matt himself was quick that time, didn't seem to lose much in the way of momentum. Frank Rathel still right there with the two of them. In the background you saw Collard and Plato. Collard running 5th, Jason Plato in 6th. Tom Ballman still in 7th place in the black Seat. Behind them is James Nash in the Vauxhall. Here comes Plato on Collard. No real chance to go around the outside. But Matt Jackson set fastest lap. Now that's interesting. Matt Jackson's down in 13th place. But he has, oh no, Matt Jackson's, it's all gone wrong. He's dropping oil, water, I think. He's torn the front splitter off, the radiator's damaged, there's water cut, it's going to be 2 non-finishes. This is a bit like Matt Neal's weekend back at Snetterton, isn't it?
Yeah, very similar to Snetterton. The first 2 races went horribly wrong for Matt there, Matt Neal that is, and now for Matt Jackson it's all gone horribly wrong. Look at the damage to the left front. He's hit something somewhere and done damage to the front and beneath the car just after he'd set fastest lap in the race.
Yeah, well, he was obviously on the limit, fastest lap last lap. He looks like he's gone off and the front split has dug into the ground somewhere, possibly on the exit of the chicane. We'll have to see, but 2 non-finishes. There we go, exit of the chicane.
Yeah, already, so presumably was that over the curb or what, do you think?
Yeah, I think he's just lost the car and here we go. Yeah, just lost the car on the first curbing and went off wide.
Yeah, that was unfortunate. Yeah, I guess it's the first curb that's done it, but we've seen other people hopping that curb and not get into too much trouble. So anyway, Baldman's got past Plato there, so he's now got between the BMW of Collard and the Chevy of Jason Plato, and the Chevrolet under pressure now from the Vauxhall behind of James Nash. These two former teammates a while ago, Plato and Nash of course, but now fighting against each other in different teams. Boardman though getting that Seat going well. His teammate, by the way, Dave Newsham, currently in 12th place. Bit of a wider lining from Tom there, and Plato could be under a bit of threat there himself.
Very slow out of the corner there, and definitely Nash has got the overlap now, will easily get past on the inside, and Andrew Jordan will be trying to sneak up the inside as well, stop Plato getting back inside. He's certainly going to force him wide. Little tap will put him on the gravel, but they give each other a lot of room there.
Definitely being quite gentlemanly to one another. Nash has got Plato though over the course of that last lap, so Chilton still leads. The gap only 6/10 though back to Matt Neal and Gordon Shedden. So you do think that the ballast on board the Ford Focus, which is leading this race, is now having a bit of an effect, because look, there's your leader, and the 3 cars behind are definitely staying with him here.
Yeah, well, as an example of that, Chilton set his fastest lap on lap 2, whereas he set it on lap 15 last in the first race, because the ballast is really hurting him, and his fastest lap's on 4/10 slower than the first race.
Well, that's part of the system in British touring cars, the ballast. You have to get the car set up to run that ballast. Chilton from Neal and Shedden, then Frank Rathel still doing a fantastic job staying with these championship front runners as they come up to cross the line. This will be 10 laps completed for Tom Chilton. The gap's still 6/10 of a second, virtually identical lap times from the top 3 on that lap.
Yeah, no, as you were saying, great news that the Honda is back in the championship next year with the new shape Civic, built purely to the NGTC rules. And I understand there are 2 or 3 other. Oh, Martin Byford off backwards into tyres. That also looks like the chicane as well.
Yeah, so Byford's having a really tough time of it. Bit of a clash with Alex McDowell in the first race of the day, and he was into the pits. We might be seeing the safety car out. Let's wait and see. But the leader's heading around towards the hairpin. Yeah, safety car is on track. No surprise there. There is Byford. It is down at the hairpin that he's gone off.
Yeah, it looks like from the tyre marks on the road, you can see the tyre. Looks like he's moved across on the front of another car, or had some contact, or just locked the rear brakes on the approach. But there's some big skid marks there. He's gone off backwards, and fortunately he'll be perfectly okay there, but it'll take a while to recover it. So just going back to what I was saying about the Honda, fantastic news they're building an NGTC car, and I gather there are 2 or 3 other teams that may also be building pure NGTC cars. So, you know, we could start to really fill the grid out with those new cars next year.
Oh, that's fantastic news. Meanwhile, not so fantastic for poor Martin Byford, a champion in many different forms of motorsport, different national championship titles he's won. Great to have him in touring cars, but certainly this weekend not going so well at the moment. Chilton still leading this race at the moment from Matt Neal and Gordon Shedden. Frank Rathel is in 4th place. Collard, I think, will be quite happy about this safety car, because he was a bit off this lead group, but now the BMW is going to be helped in the latter part of the race.
Tyres will be up to temperature, and he'll be able to close the little gap. He'll be coming into the strongest part of his race in the second half of the race now, so a much better opportunity. That's not going to be easy to move that VW, actually, because it's really buried nose down into the gravel. And unless you can get a straight pull, they've got a Land Rover there, but it's going to try and pull it at an angle. It really needs to be pulling it in a straight line. It's going to be quite difficult to move that.
Yeah, tricky to get the car out of the way. And steam coming out from underneath, just presumably done some damage to coolers and stuff underneath the car as it's gone through the gravel. So the leaders have gone across the line. We've got 12 laps completed. We're on to lap 13, very much half distance, but we're under safety car here, and they're going to try and get Martin Byford's car out of the way. So cars just coming down the hill now. Let's see if we can get a quick word with Gordon Shedden, radio communications with Gordon in this race. Gordon, it's Ben in the combox. How are things feeling at the moment? It looks to us as though you may have a bit more pace in the car than Matt has ahead of you.
Yeah, a little bit. It's a bit kind of nip and tuck at the moment. I wouldn't mind having a blast at Chilton though. Obviously still quite a long time to go, so got to still try and look after the tyres and see how we end up.
Gordon, it's Tim here. You realise that whoever leads this race between you and Matt will be leading the championship at the end of this race?
Yeah, but you know, it's got to be clean, it's got to be precise, and if the car's good enough, I'll take my chance. If it's not, then I'll score the points.
Okay, good luck.
Yeah, good answer. Well done. Now then, Tim, you behave. You're trying to wind those two up, aren't you? I can tell.
Yeah, I want to race. Thank you. I want to race.
We all want to race. We all want to race. But
you know, if the incentive of leading the British Touring Car Championship at your home circuit doesn't do enough for you, then nothing will. You know?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
But they still.
Andy Osmat won, you know, or 2 or several probably. So
for that incident at Alton Park, you mean?
Well, and last year here when Matt hugged him at the last corner. So you know, let's show the nose.
But that's a big story. Matt Jackson is out of his car. We saw him ride off into the gravel trap, and that is, as you say, no scores from the 2 first races.
We talked about how this race meeting was the most unpredictable. It's the one the drivers really want to just get out with 3 finishes. The lights are out, they're going to be restarting. But for Matt Jackson it's all turned to treacle, and 2 non-finishes so far.
Yeah, horrible for him. But you can come back from there. We've seen others do it before. So he's still got the 3rd race of the day to think about. Here goes Tom Chilton, and just watch him go. As he did in the first race today, he attacks this restart, goes quite deep into the hairpin, but I don't think the Honda guys are going to be caught out by that. They're going to stay with him. Matt Neal, Gordon Shedden, then the Toyota of Frank Rathel, followed by the white BMW of Rob Collard. Up the hill they come, crossing the line to go racing once again. Behind Collard, it's Boardman in 6th, Nash is in 7th, then Plato is in 8th place. So Nash having got ahead of Plato just before that last little sequence. Jordan is in 9th, and Aaron Smith still holding on to an excellent 10th.
Yeah, Onzo Cole hasn't made much progress from the back. He's in 15th position, so 9 points.
Oh,
Jeff Smith is off.
Yeah, on the restart, there's been some little incident. In fact, is Jeff Smith. Yeah, Jeff Smith was down in 16th place, but I think he was trying to get past the Audi of Rob Austin, and it ended in the tyres, well, certainly off the track anyway. Tom Chilton making a good restart. The question is, can he maintain that pace? Because the evidence from the first part of the race was he couldn't. Oh, Rathel so close to running into the back of Gordon Shedden there.
Yeah, I'll tell you what though, Gordon Shedden's hand may be forced into attacking Matt Neal if he comes under increasing pressure from Frank Rathel, because you know, if he sits there and allows Rathel to get into the back of him, that could be more costly than not attacking the Matt.
Yeah, that's a very good point. There you are, looking back from Shedden at Frank Rathel. And Frank, this youngster who won the Ginetta Championship last year, the Ginetta G50 Cup, with some 11 wins, I think, on his way to take that title. Very accomplished young racer who's showing his form now in British touring cars, exciting talent for the future, and with this new style of car, which certainly here at Knockhill is working extremely well. But let's just watch what happens. Rob Austin in. Austin.
With some damage to the right-hand side, sill and rear, so we may have had some contact between him and Jeff Smith, we don't know.
Yeah, that could have been it. Back down to the hairpin they come, the real radio hairpin. Collard chasing that little group, then Boardman. Plato's in the middle of the group, still in 8th place, chased by Andrew Jordan and Aaron Smith, then Nick Foster. Up over the rise they come, and again, from that initial advantage that Tom Chilton gained on the restart, now it's closed up again and they're lapping at pretty much the same pace. In fact, the Hondas were 2/10 quicker than Chilton on that last lap.
Yeah, and I'm expecting if these four start to get together, watch Collard absolutely shoot up behind them, and then we'll see some overtaking manoeuvres, I'm sure.
Yeah, Collard's just done his own personal best lap time, 54.0, virtually the same pace as that group ahead of him. So this is working well for Collard at the moment. First target for him will be Frank Rathel, so you've got a real mix of youth versus experience there.
Yeah, and his car, the BMW, is getting quicker and the others are getting slower as the tyres are working much harder on the front-wheel drive cars. So, and Collard knows this. He knows this is his time now to push.
Yeah, and it'll be a first time really that I think that Rathel and Collard will be going together. Now look at Chilton under pressure from Matt Neal. So Chilton, he might have got a great restart, but there's no doubt that the extra ballast on board the Ford is hurting it. He can't run the same pace that he did in the first race today. You're looking from Matt Neal now. Where does he go for the move? That's the big question here. Has a little look there, but there's no space to turn in at Scotsman's. He's got a great run through Butchers and up the hill, but where can he go? Chilton hops over the curbs. Look at it, absorbing the impact of those curbing.
Yeah, that Ford working pretty well, you have to say, over those curves, because he didn't lift up too much. Lifts up quite a bit there, and there immediately you see the hang time in the air. The car's not going forward. The car on the ground with its tyres on the ground soonish gets more forward in impetus.
Yeah, so Matt Neal chases him down towards the hairpin and almost getting into the back of him, but not quite. And Chilton now trying to power up. Now this is again where the ballast hurts, because extra ballast, worse power to weight ratio, bit slower off the hairpin. But Matt Neal can't do a huge amount because he's carrying almost as much ballast. He's got 36 kilos, so there's not a big difference between them.
No, but Chilton was having to defend into the hairpin, taking the time to line. That'll let everyone else behind close up. Matt looking close up the inside. Look, Rattles on the back of Shedden. Collard not as close as you might have expected at the end of that lap.
No, he obviously lost a little bit of time on that lap. Yeah, a couple of tenths on that one, so he's going to have to try and find that back again. And then Tom Boardman in the background also closing up on the group, isn't he?
Yeah, good run by Tom Boardman. Started this race in 8th, lap to 6th.
Chilton got quite sideways there, and that's surely going to give Matt Neal a better chance to have the momentum, but Chilton recovered it very quickly. He's got brilliant reactions and sorted it out. But again, yeah, Matt Neal's not quite close enough. There's an echelon formation into the hairpin, and you're right, Collard has caught them up again a bit over this last lap.
Yeah, there's just a little hint of desperation in Tom Chilton's driving. His mum's looking on, she can sense it too. Just a little hint that he's right on the edge here to hang on to that first, but he's going to do everything he can.
Yeah, he's got to work hard. Oh, look how sideways. He's got a lot more oversteer now than we ever saw in the first race. Maybe they've the change setup, or perhaps it's just the increase in temperature making a change to the way the car is using its tyres. Tom is having to work very hard. Look at them all. This is great stuff. The top 5 cars absolutely together.
Top 6 nearly, with Boardman just about latching on to the back of them. Oh, look at that. You said oversteer. That was oversteer. Matt Neal must get past it. Shedden will really try and get up the inside as well. That was really well held.
Oh, that was awesome stuff from Chilton, but surely he's lost the lead. He might even lose 3 places in one go here. Shedden's up the inside. Frank Raffles trying to get past as well. Chilton is back down to 3rd, and that could well be 4th as they go into the first corner. Look at Collard. He's right there with them now.
Yeah, look at Raffles' left-hand mirror. It's knocked backward. He can't see anything out of that mirror, but he can see Chilton on his left-hand side, and he's taken 3rd place. Fantastic.
Wow, that's amazing. Frank Rathel, a potential podium finish here for Rathel in the Toyota NGTC. Look at the 2 Hondas ahead. Shedden still chasing Matt Neal, and there's still nothing to choose between them. And remember, they're battling for the championship lead here.
Oh, Shedden was so fast, he may have got the overlap into Clark. He has. We've said he was quicker all the way through that chicane. He has been in the first 2 races. Brilliant move.
Oh,
brilliant move. Can he get back across to cover the inside? I think, oh, it's there, so close.
This has got to be careful. They've taken each other off once this year. They cannot afford to do it again. Oh, Rattle almost having a look at getting past McNeil. Behind them is still Chilton, Collard and Tom Boardman right in there as well. But it is Gordon Shedden who leads on home turf at the moment if he can hang on to it.
Yeah, well, perhaps that was the incentive he needed to lead this championship if he beat McNeil in this race. But that was some great racing. The front six cars all absolutely locked together.
Now look at Boardman, he's still trying to get past Collard. Frank Rathel still trying to get past McNeil. So there's a lot to play for. We're on lap 22 out of 27. Plenty more can happen here, as we've seen already. Knockhill always giving us great drama. Behind them is James Nash in 7th. Jason Plato not able to do a lot there in 8th. And Andrew Jordan is in 9th place. Going to get back to Aaron Smith. But look at Shedden now, really beginning to put his foot down and escape.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see his lap time compared to the others this time, because he's clearly had the pace. He had the pace in race 1. But couldn't get past McNeil, and discretion was the better part of valour. But now he's in front and with clean air, he's going very quickly.
Yeah, this is a good lap coming up from Gordon Shedden. Let's just see what it was. It was a 44.4, yeah, 4/10 quicker there than McNeil. Frank Rathel, much the same lap time as Neil, obviously. Chilton, James Nash still having to be a bit defensive on not allowing Jason Plato through. And as they come down through this little section, I wonder if Plato's going to start pushing on a bit more down there. Look at Shedden go, really opening up that gap now, and there's nothing the others can do about it. And McNeil's just going to have to hope that he can hold on to second, because that could be under threat here from Frank Rathel.
Yeah, and Shedden's technique through that chicane really is superb. And it's not because he works here and has done more laps than anyone else, because unless you've driven that chicane in a touring car, you don't know how the car's going to react. And some of it is line, some of it is whether you're on the throttle or the brakes as you go over the bump. There's a lot of technique involved in that, and whatever it is his technique is, it's just getting the car through that corner straighter, faster, back on the ground, and going forwards quicker than McNeil.
Definitely, and he's doing it beautifully. His gap up to just over a second now over these two. You're riding with McNeil in second. You've got Frank Rathel still applying the pressure. Tom Chilton, who dropped back a little bit, but he's still in the hunt, still sitting there in 4th place ahead of Rob Collard. So is Collard going to find a way through in the closing laps? Nash and Plato chasing each other as they come over the hill. And then Andrew Jordan not far behind. He's still running in 9th place. And then the gap back to Aaron Smith in the background with Tom Onslow Cole 11th, Nick Foster 12th, Dave Newsham 13th, and Andy Neat in 14th.
Yeah, it always amazes me. We see how many drivers are still not using that curb on the right-hand side. Oh, that was very close, wasn't it? But we see a lot of drivers. Oh, Collard's going to get a chance with Chilton, but he's clearly got a better exit. But I bet Chilton comes back at him with power up the start-finish line. Look at this.
Yeah, and in the meantime, Rathel also trying to get on terms with McNeil. But here we go. Tom Chilton's come back with the power, and yeah, he's managed to get back in front of the BMW before they turn in.
Yeah, well, that's the sort of thing that frustrates the driver and leads the driver to do desperate things, because Collard had the advantage coming off the corner, but just got driven around the outside by Chilton. So then he'll try and fight back in a different place. But I was saying about the chicane, you just think, well, you know, the teams, they're watching these races, they should be giving the driver the instructions about where they can gain speed, because the driver doesn't necessarily know.
No, it's right, until they get back home and watch it afterwards, perhaps. But they need to know during the course of the weekend how they can find some time. So still no change up front. Rathel looking at his first ever podium finish in British touring cars in 3rd place. It would be the first ever podium for the NGTC new specification of touring car. Again, Collard gets a better exit off the hairpin. Once again, he can't do anything with it. And meanwhile, Aaron Smith is battling with Andy Neat. Now this is important in the top 10. In fact, Smith has dropped back a few places. I think Foster is now in 10th. Yes, he is. And then it's Onslow Cole and Newsham, and they're ahead now of Smith, so he's been bundled down the order a bit.
Yeah, Onslow Cole with yet more damage. The Aon Team Aon are going to be running out of front bumpers, I'm sure enough. But if he can get himself in the top 10, he's got a chance of starting the last race at the front. But of course, it could be any number from 6 to 10 that get reversed. But we'll have to wait and see. I need to correct myself. Oh, big slide there!
Andy Neat, that was. Oh, that was all a bit marginal, and Paul O'Neill took full advantage of it, didn't he? Now look at this, Collard, very close to the back of Chilton, had to almost run too deep to avoid hitting him.
Yeah, I was going to correct myself. I think in the pre-race programme I said that Raffle had finished third at Stetton, and of course it was fourth, so this would be the first podium. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, well, let's see if he holds on. He's got the one lap to do to hold on to it. Foreman still coming down the hill. Rathel still attacking Matt Neal. Here comes Plato passing Nash. Plato's managed to get past James Nash. These two have had a wonderful dice throughout the race, and it looks as though it's a pretty clean manoeuvre into the first corner. So that's brought Plato back up into 7th place, chasing after Tom Boorman. Could be vital points at the end of the year. Plato's still not to be counted out of this championship, but the Hondas are looking supreme here, because Gordon Shedden is definitely heading for yet another victory in the championship. This will add to his tally so far this year. He'll be on to 4 wins. It'll also be his 3rd win here on his home track of Knockhill. It's been an excellent race from Gordon Shedden. He takes the victory from Matt Neal.
Yeah, great race by the two Honda drivers, side by side, almost across the line with Chilton and Collard, but Chilton gets it, and Gordon will be absolutely delighted about that. He's had fantastic race pace this afternoon. He's now got a home win. He's leading the British Touring Car Championship. He will be delighted.
He will. That was absolutely superb. So Shedden taking the victory, and let's see if we can have a quick word with him on his slow down lap. Gordon, many congratulations. That was a superbly driven race. You got in front and you held them off. Well done.
Absolutely brilliant, Ben. You know, Matt got a little wide. He got a little bit wide coming out chicane, and I just got, it must have been about 2 inches of an overlap, and it was enough to get up the inside. But brilliant for everybody at Team Honda. It's a 1-2. Another fantastic result, and so chuffed to win at home in Scotland. Absolutely brilliant. Well done, everyone.
Yeah, well done to you. That will put you in top of the table as well with another race to go. So many congratulations. Gordon Shedden then leading the race there, winning the race, and now leading the championship from his teammate Matt Neal. But what about Frank Rathel? How significant, Tim, is that 3rd place for Frank Rathel, that podium finish with the NG? How important is that in the history of British touring cars, if you like?
Well, it is a milestone, isn't it? You know, NGTC is the future of the British Touring Car Championship. We're going to see a lot more of those cars next year. They look good straight away. The shape of the car, the look of the car always did look good, but it was struggling for pace earlier on. We're going to see more of this. They're every bit as quick as the current cars. They will be quicker. They're cheaper to run. So, you know, we're getting the results now with a cheaper car that everybody else will be able to afford. So it's a significant milestone.
It is, and it will certainly, I know you've said that some teams are already looking at building more of them for next year, but this result will actually fire up teams that think we really have to go down that route, because otherwise we won't get the results we need next year.
Yeah, I mean, this is what Alan Gow obviously wants, but let's have a look at the result first.
Shedden wins then from Matt Neal, his teammate. That's a Honda 1-2, but the Dynojet Toyota finishes a fine 3rd for Frank Rathel, his first ever podium as well, of course. Tom Chilton in 4th, ahead of Rob Collard in 5th, then Tom Boorman and Jason Plato, who snatched 7th at the last there from James Nash. Andrew Jordan finished 9th, and Nick Foster was the other BMW to get into the top 10. Onslow Cole was 11th, ahead of Newsham and Aaron Smith, who dropped back a little. O'Neill only 14th, ahead of Andy Neat and Daniel Welsh. Then Chris James in 17th, Jeff Smith, who we saw off at one point, got back on, finished 18th. McDowell 4 laps down, and then Rob Austin also in trouble. Now let's just see what that means. We know that Gordon Shedden and Matt Neal were tied at the top going into that second race of the day. So now it is Gordon Shedden who has a 3-point advantage over Matt Neal. But the most significant thing, of course, is that Matt Jackson is now only 13 points ahead of Jason Plato, because Matt has failed to score in the opening 2 races of the day. Still a lot to play for, though. So still a lot of points on the board here. So anything can happen here. So Andrew Jordan there down in 6th place. Tom Chilton in 7th, Rob Collard in 8th place, Alex McDowell in 9th, and Paul O'Neill in 10th.
The world of possibilities that's always presented by the 3rd race of the Touring Car Day. And here at Knockhill, the big opportunity is offered to pole position man Jason Plato. It's round 21 of the British Touring Car Championship, and once again commentary from Tim Harvey and Ben Edwards.
Well, Jason Plato is the most successful of the current drivers on the grid here at Knockhill. He's had 8 wins in the past. He's won in a Chevy here. Up against him, Tom Boorman, Rob Collard. Perhaps they're not going to be able to offer the major threat, but then Tom Chilton is close in behind, and we've already seen him win today, Tim.
Yeah, this is Jason's best chance for a win today. He needs to get a good start. Collard obviously is not as quick in the first laps until his tyres are up to temperature, so the threat is going to come from Boardman and Chilton, but it's definitely Jason's best chance to win a race, but he's not going to have it easy, and then there are the two Hondas behind who will be snapping at their heels as well, so could be an interesting race. Obviously the reverse grid changes it about a bit, but Plato has zero ballast and Boardman has zero ballast. Everybody else behind them does.
Right, so this is going to be fun. Let's take a look at the grid. It is Jason Plato on pole position with Tom Boardman in the special tuning Seat next door. Rob Collard in the BMW, Tom Chilton, race winner earlier today. He's on that second row. Then Frank Rathel with his podium finish earlier. He starts on row 3 with Matt Neal. And then behind them, of course, the winner from race 2, that's Gordon Shedden. James Nash has been having a pretty solid weekend so far. He's got big rival Andrew Jordan just behind. And then Nick Foster in the BMW. Tom Onslow Cole has had a disappointing weekend. He's on 6th row with Dave Newsham. And then as we go further back, we've got Aaron Smith and Paul O'Neill, Andy Neat and Dan Welsh in the Proton, then Chris James and Jeff Smith in the Vauxhall, followed by Alex McDowell, Rob Austin, John George, Liam Griffin, Martin Byford, and right down there, all the way at the back, it's Matt Jackson after what has been a miserable day so far for him, but let's see what happens in this one. Now, we can, I think we can have a quick word with the man starting from pole. Let's see what he has to say for himself. Jason, it's Ben here. How hard is it going to be to get off the line quickly, which is what, of course, you need more than anything here?
Well, I mean, that's going to be key, isn't it, to the outcome of my race, I think. Obviously, Rob Collard is a factor to think about with the rear-wheel drive BMW. But, yeah, well, you know, we've done great starts in the past. We've just got to do it again now, haven't we? Pressure's on a bit.
Pressure's on, but have a good one. Thanks, Jason. And we'll see what he can do. Just he's really backing them up quite a lot here, isn't he, Tim?
Yeah, possibly doing one of his trying to stop Collard getting too much heat in his tyres, not giving him any opportunity to get too much in there because he knows he'll be slow on the first lap or so, and slower with colder tyres.
But Collard, as we've seen, becomes better in the latter part of the race. There's no doubt about it. We know the front tyres of the BMW don't come alive until a little bit into the race. So it is tough for him in the early laps. You've got to keep an eye on Chilton and Rathel. I mean, Frank Rathel has been fast throughout the races that we've seen. There's Jackson. Well, he's right at the very back. And he's going to need a bit of a miracle.
He can only go forward, can't
yeah.
He's come into this meeting leading the championship, has scored no points and finds himself starting the third race at the back, so things can only improve for him.
I guess one good thing is that it's his actual teammate who's right in front of him on the grid, and I can't see Liam fighting too hard.
No, but that first position,
yeah.
He'll get that, I'm sure, but he's got a long way to go before he gets any points. But as David Bartram said, anything can happen in the last race.
Yeah, well, that's what's always such fun about British touring cars. We get to the final race of the day, the partially reversed grid certainly livens things up. Just to remind you, it's 7 cars that were reversed from earlier on. So Gordon Shedden starts down in 7th, and the man who finished 7th in race 2, that is Jason Plato. He starts from pole position. So now, last few cars are just moving into place there, I think. Jackson is the last car, so yep, there he is, on board with him, and he's in place. Car is stopped, and I think we're all set then for round 21 of the British touring cars here at Knockhill. Holding, now we go, and it was a slow start from Plato. Plato didn't initially move. Boardman is going up to try and get alongside him, but I think Boardman got too much wheel spin, so it could have been a real opportunity for Tom, but he couldn't take it.
Yeah, you're right, not a good reaction from Plato, but Boardman spun the wheels up, and Rob Collard didn't get an especially good start, so they head into the first corner, the first 4 or 5 cars all in grid order.
So Plato gets away with an average start from his experience. Oh, Jordan's off, he's going to rejoin. Let's hope he doesn't hit anyone. That's pretty good, because it's easy to run across into the cars that are coming around already. He's under attack straight away from Andy Neat and has to give the place up.
Yeah, he was just got a tank slapper on going down the hill before the chicane and had to take to the grass. Plato defending into the hairpin. Chilton trying to go around the outside of Collard. That won't come off.
Then the 2 Hondas, Neal and Shedden, as expected. Now this is where it gets tough for Plato up the hill. Just watching what happened to Andrew Jordan. Clipped the curb, turned himself around, did pretty well not to spin the car.
Did very well to stay in the race.
Now Collard still in 3rd, Chilton is in 4th, but it is Plato who still manages to stay ahead of the turbocharged Seat. There is Paul O'Neill heading into the pits. Oh, he's had as much a bad a weekend as Matt Jackson, really. It's been horrible for Paul O'Neill.
Yeah, it hasn't been a good weekend at all for Chevrolets in any guys so far, but can Plato put some smile back on the face of the Chevrolet team? He's under big pressure from Boardman, though.
Yeah, Boardman driving beautifully at the moment. Had a very good quick lap in that last race, did Boardman. They seem to have got the car sorted. Very close behind it there as they come down towards the hairpin. Meanwhile, a drive-through penalty for car 44. That's Andy Neat out of position on the grid. So Andy Neat has got a drive-through penalty, but he's way down. He's in 13th place. Now look at the battle for the lead here. Boardman moves to the outside. Can the Saiyan outbrake the Chevy into the first corner? Oh my goodness, Plato was snaking around under the brakes and he only just got into the corner.
Yeah, you can see what Jason's talking about, how hard it is for him to race against the turbocharged cars, because he came out of the hairpin perfectly okay in first position, and Boardman was able to drag alongside him on the outside, forcing Plato into an outbraking manoeuvre into turn 1.
Yeah, but he held it just about through Clark all weekend. He runs a bit wide. Rathel was up high as well. You can see how hard they're trying those inner curves. They've got to be careful of them. And again, Boardman is right down on the Chevy coming into the hairpin. This time, it's all about the exit of this corner. Plato is being as careful as he can to get the car out of the corner and then go defensive.
Yeah, I mean, Plato comes off the corner very well, but watch the Seat Leon is closing. Plato's got the inside top, a little tap on the back to let him know he's there. Chilton trying to go around the outside, and Collard outside. Oh, that'll be big.
Oh, he's into the tyres. Plato is out. There was contact between him and Boardman now leads the race. Collard is still in second. Chilton didn't quite make it, as you saw, but Plato is out, and that is big drama. Look at
he will be livid. This is exactly what he's talking about. How can he race against cars that are 5 miles an hour faster on the straights? He simply can't. He's livid, and I understand it. As a driver, I completely get it.
Well, that is Jason Plato out of the race from pole position, from leading this one. And Boardman is now the race leader. The Hondas are still in there. Matt Neal and Gordon Shedden, they're running 5th and 6th now. So for the Hondas, it's looking pretty good. They've got to bide their time, but the safety car is out, and that's going to close them all up once again. I wonder if we're going to see some reaction from Plato as Boardman comes down that section of track, or whether Plato's just going to stomp his way back to the pits as quickly as possible.
No, I think he'll either be stomping off to get on a plane home as quickly as possible and say nothing, or he's going to explode and say a lot of things maybe he might regret later. But you know, I do get the frustration, because he spent 2 laps just defending against a car that was quicker on the straight. He was doing nothing wrong, and you know, he's ended up being turfed out of the race.
Yeah, well, let's see if we can take another look at it, Tim, and how it came about.
Well, Boardman's up alongside, up behind him. He's tapped him on the bumper there before the braking zone. Plato's defended on the way in. Boardman's cut inside, a tap on the rear, and he's gone.
Yeah, there's no way Plato's ever going to save that from there.
No, absolutely no way, and Plato did nothing wrong at all.
You could actually hear a bit of reaction, I think, from Plato, almost on board there. That was the pile into the tyres, but it was that touch, it was that slight touch. This was the start of the race from the back of the grid from Matt Jackson, who, by the way...
It wasn't a very good start, was he? I mean, he's gone backwards off the start. You can see Liam Griffin is probably waiting for him to come through, thinking, well, where are you, Matt?
Yeah,
I'm leaving you the inside. Matt's eventually got the thing going. Look, Liam's driven off the circuit to give him the corner, so he's gone past a couple. Maybe we'll see... what happened to Paul O'Neill further up? He got turned around, didn't he, and came in the pits?
That's right, yeah, don't know quite what happened. So he got a couple of cars on the way. Yeah, now he's got a good run out of that. So he obviously made some ground. He has moved up to 15th, so he's come round 15th now. So he has made quite a few cars.
Yeah, he did well. Now there's Paul O'Neill slowing down, so he's got some kind of engine problem or something, and slowed right down, but...
yeah.
So here we go, lights out.
Yeah, we're going to go racing again. It's Tom Boardman who leads this race. Interestingly, Nick Foster got the fastest lap on lap 2, the only lap we had of racing there before the safety car came out. So Boardman really slowing everybody. Oh no, it's caused chaos, and that's his teammate that's gone off in the ground. Look at the damage to poor Aaron Smith. Oh, it all got bunched up because Boardman virtually brought it to a stop.
Yeah, I mean, Boardman was close behind the safety car. He hadn't backed away from the safety car in order to go quickly. In the previous 2 races where we've had safety cars, the lead driver has backed right away so he could attack that last corner at full racing speed. Boardman didn't do that, but everyone else behind was expecting him to.
Yeah, so they all came charging down towards the hairpin and ran into each other. Oh, big slide from Onslow Cole there, coming up over the chicane. I think he probably gathered it together, but it's Boardman leading, and he will, of course, be picked up by the safety car. Collard in 2nd place, Chilton in 3rd, Frank Russell in 4th, 5th is Matt Neal, and then Gordon Shedden. Still cars down there at the hairpin that they've got to try and navigate their way past. Well, it's all happening today, and Tom Boardman is a part and parcel of everything that's happening.
Yes, I think he's going to be. He won't be, if he's got an early flight out of here, he won't be catching it, because Bob Kettleborough will want to be talking to him about the Jason Plato incident and the restart, and we're still only start. Now here's Boardman coming up towards the restart. The safety car, you see, has only just gone round the corner. Now everyone catches up behind, arrives far too quickly.
Oh dear, what a mess. And I do feel for Aaron Smith there. He was just right in the middle of it all.
Yeah.
He actually partly hit his teammate, I think, but also another car. This is on board with Matt Neal. Okay, watch this. He just about, oh, he did actually hit Rathel. That's how much even the front runners were caught out by it.
Yeah, I mean, Boardman didn't stop. He just slowed the car down and accelerated out and through the corner. It's up to the driver to decide when he actually accelerates.
Look at the chaos. My goodness. That worked well for Jackson, didn't it?
Yeah.
Because he was that bit further back anyway. The ironic thing, it was Dave Newsham, Boardman's teammate, who ended up one of the biggest losers of that. But that's the worst one. It's for the youngster Aaron Smith making his debut this weekend. He'll be back in the Renault Clio Championship next time when we go to Rockingham. But that was all a bit chaotic. So round they come, the leaders. They still haven't quite got that car out of the way. And Matt Neal currently running in 5th position. He's got Gordon Shedden behind him, the 2 guys who are very much battling for the championship. Let's see if we can have a quick word with Matt Neal about what was going on in that little incident. Matt, this is Ben in the econ box. What did you make of that restart? It all looked a bit messy, mate.
Oh, I thought we were all go, and then it all... Tom, for some reason, just stood on the anchors getting into the hairpins, so it just concertinaed up there was going to be an accident. I mean, I ran in the back of Frank, just I couldn't help it.
Right, okay, let's hope for better things this time. So, yeah, we're going to get a restart.
Well, we'll
here.
see how he does it this way. What he should do is back. See, he hasn't backed himself away from the safety car.
Yeah.
So he has no option but to slow down at the last corner. I mean, it's up to him when he actually accelerates, but...
Yeah, same thing. I see what you mean, Tim. He hasn't dropped back, so he has to slow it right down here. At least
they're all still arriving. They're all arriving thinking that the race is sort of back on, only to find that it hasn't really.
They were a bit more cautious that time.
A little lot more.
Here we go then. So the restart takes place. Tom Boardman crosses the line. Collard chases in 2nd. Chilton in the Ford is in 3rd. Frank Russell in the orange and black Toyota right behind them in 4th place. The 2 Hondas are chasing. Then Nick Foster going really well in the other BMW. He's in 7th. Andrew Jordan 8th. Onslow Cole is in 9th. And 10th place at the moment for Dave Newsham. New race distance, 27 laps because of the safety car having been out.
Yeah, in fairness, whoa! A couple of Andrew Jordan and Onslow Cole very high there. I was just about to say how well Jordan's done to still be in 8th place after that big grassy moment on the first lap. But I mean, he and Onslow Cole, they're fighting it out like the last lap.
Yeah, it's great stuff, and both getting massive height off those curbs. Boardman leading then from Collard. This is where it's all getting feisty. Onslow Cole trying to go around the outside of Jordan. That's not really going to work. Dave Newsham in the yellow car, tucked in behind them. Newsham's had a tough weekend as well, but he's running inside the top 10 now at last. So chance for him here as Collard comes under pressure from Chilton. Collard trying to hold on to 2nd. Oh, Chilton almost doing what Boardman did to Plato, almost touching him through that section. And Rathel is right there behind him too.
Rathel, look, I thought Rathel was going to get down the inside there, but This third race, I think the drivers have all sort of suddenly lost their sense of perspective, and everybody's really fighting hard.
Onslow Cole, I tell you, the background, that time it wasn't height, it was sideways. He's getting that car at all strange angles, whether it's with two wheels or
well,
four.
We saw that earlier on, the Onslow Cole's car very loose at the rear, lots of oversteer through the chicane.
Yeah, definitely. So, let's just watch as they come down. On board with Matt Neal, Frank Russell just ahead, and behind. I can tell you that Matt Jackson has made a lot of progress from the back of the field. He's apparently now just got past Dave Newsom, so he's up to 10th. So it's been a good couple of laps for Matt Jackson, who's had such a horrible day until now.
Yeah, well, he's been helping a fair amount of carnage in front of him, it must be said. But yeah, he's in the points, and that's good.
Yeah, so finally in the points. See if he can stay there. Look, fastest lap for Frank Rathel. That Dynojet car, as we've seen all weekend, absolutely flying. There he hops over the curb a bit, but still going forwards. And watch him now into the right-hander. This is where we've also seen plenty of cars flip up onto two wheels.
Yeah, very tidy. That was the ideal line for Frank. He just used a tiny bit of curb, but not enough to launch the car high. So he kept his wheels on the ground and driving.
Yeah, still going forwards. Still on board with Matt Neal here, who's quite close to the back of the Toyota. I have to say, the Toyota stood up quite well to Matt Neal's banging to the back of it earlier.
Well, they both did. I was looking at the front of Matt Neal's car under the safety car to see if there was any damage there. Couldn't see a mark on it. Look, it looks absolutely immaculate. But from on board, it looked like quite a whack, didn't it?
Boardman continues to lead this race by 0.8 of a second. Look at this little lots of brake locking going on. Onslow Cole with Jackson now right behind him. You're on board with Matt Jackson here. And so he's got a real chance. Somebody went very wide there. Was that Chilton? I think Chilton might have lost some ground up ahead. Somebody went very, very wide there, and the rest of them come up over the chicane. But look at Matt Jackson still trying to join in. Foster.
Is that Collard dropping back?
Might have been. I think it is. Foster just ahead of them, isn't it?
Yeah, you're right. It's Foster just in front of Andrew Jordan there.
That's right, yeah. So you've got BMW, Vauxhall. Look at this. Look at the 3, 4 of them. And Jackson's going to go down the outside here. Trying to get one, trying to get two. Oh, and Foster gets a nudge from Jordan. Side by side now, Jackson with Jordan. And this is great stuff. Up the hill they come. Nick Foster is fending them off for a moment, but Jackson, I think, has done him as they go over the line. He's now up into 7th place. Oh, looking that right rear. Jordan gets through as well. Wow, and it is all kicking off. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, that worked out really nicely for Matt Jackson. He went down the outside into the hairpin, got a good run out and passed everybody around the outside. That worked out really well.
Yeah, it's just sort of opened up. Isn't it funny how sometimes it does and other times it's almost impossible to get past?
Yeah, I mean, he went down the outside because there were 3 cars queuing up on the inside. He had no option, but it turned out to be a master move.
Yeah, very good move. So he's up to 7th now from the back. Up ahead of him now, he's got Tom Chilton, who, just to confirm, he did lose a lot of places on that last lap. I think he ran wide out of Scotland down the bottom of the hill. So Jackson now trying to get past Chilton. This has promoted Frank Rathel up to 3rd place now. So it's now Tom Boardman leading, Collard 2nd, Rathel 3rd, Matt Neal is in 4th place, then Shedden, and then these guys fighting hard, Chilton and Jackson. And Jackson seems to be the one, really with the bit between his teeth. You're on board with him once again. New global Ford Focus versus one of Chilton's cars from last year.
Yeah, in fairness, Matt Jackson, remember, has got no ballast on board, so wow, Chilton was very quick through that chicane, wasn't he? Look at the distance he pulled out on that little bit, really brave. No wonder he was on pole position with bravery like that. But, you know, Matt Jackson's got a very quick car under him and no ballast. Chilton is carrying 18 kilos, so a little bit of a handicap there.
Yeah, so that makes a difference. But here we come down to the hairpin once more. Is Jackson going to go for the late lunch? Ooh, no. But it came pretty close to the back of the Team Aon car as they come back up the hill. And these two cars have the same engines, but of course, as you say, there's a bit of weight on Chilton's cars, kind of ding in the side of it too, isn't there?
Yeah, he's got a fair size ding in the driver's door from earlier on, but Jackson looks to have superior pace just at the moment.
Yeah, back down the hill they come. Boardman still leads by 0.8 of a second at the moment from Collard in 2nd place, Frank Rathel in 3rd, 4th place and 5th, the 2 Hondas of Neal and Shedden. Then we've got this tussle between the 2 Fords of Chilton and Jackson. They're followed by Andrew Jordan, Tom Onslow Cole, Dave Newsham and Foster, who's now dropped back to 11th. Another big slide there from Chilton. You can see Foster in the group behind, and Alex McDowell also. He's down in 12th place.
Lap times at the front, very, very equal. 54.0 Boardman, 54.1 Collard, 54.0 Rattle, very equal.
So here we go, up over the line they come. Boorman onto lap 17 out of 27, and he still has control at the moment over Rob Collard. But remember, the BMW tends to get quicker as the race progresses compared to the front-wheel drive car. So Collard is not to be counted out of this yet. Bit of a slide there from Chilton, but Jackson can't take advantage of it through this section of track. And this is such a great onboard view.
Yeah, it's, I mean, you see these front-wheel drive cars with lots and lots of rear oversteer. That's because there are very few fast corners here at Knockhill, so the cars are all set up to be on the front because they want as little grip as possible in the slow corners, so they don't wear the front tyres. So they literally set the car up so it just hangs on to the rear in the fastest of the corners, so it gives maximum grip at the front in the slower ones.
Shedden a bit closer to Matt Neal there in the battle for fourth position between the two Hondas, and we know Shedden was able to get past Matt Neal in the second race of the day, so I wonder if Shedden's going to be able to repeat that performance. But remember, Shedden has got a bit more lead weight, more ballast on board that car. Hondas are still looking very, very good though. Have dropped back a little bit from Frank Rathel, haven't they? Because Frank is in third place. You can just see him a bit further up the road.
Yeah, you get the impression. Watch through the chicane, see if Gordon, yeah, he manages to get the car turned very quickly there. Quite a good exit from Matt Neal, but Gordon very good through that section.
Yeah, little lock up on that right rear, very tidy through that one was Matt Neal. Lost no momentum, if anything, he gained a length or so out of Shedden. Two top drivers in identical cars, more or less, with a slight difference in weight ballast. And they're both going for this, knowing how crucial this could be in terms of the championship. It really is looking as though these two teammates will be fighting it out for the title this year. You look at what's happened to Jason Plato today, you look at what's happened to Matt Jackson, and the title battle is more and more becoming a tussle between these two.
Yeah, but it can change in one meeting. We've seen it before. We've seen Honda be up and down all year. It can very easily change. And the next meeting at Rockingham, that's another race that has some very tight sections, some hairpins where we've seen plenty of incidents in the past. Oh, here we go, that's another Shedden special speed through the chicane. Almost on the back of Matt Neal too early on the exit of the corner to use the momentum, but when he decides to go for it through there, he really is quite spectacular to watch.
And you could see Matt Neal looking in the mirror instantly. As soon as he's out the chicane, he sort of knew he hadn't done it that brilliantly, and he looks and he sees Shedden filling his mirrors. But Chilton has also caught up to the back of Gordon Shedden now. Jackson not far back, so this is not going to get any easier for Matt Neal because they're all ganging up on him now.
Yeah, Jackson's progress seems to have been halted for some reason. He was on the back of Chilton a couple of laps ago and is now lapping slower than him, so I'm not sure what's up with Jackson.
Boorman still leads, by the way. Collard hasn't really been able to close the gap to the leader, so we've still got Boorman ahead by 3/4 of a second from Rob Collard. But I'm still going to see what happens in the closing laps, because I still think that... Oh, there was Chilton going highest of all. Who's going to get the prize? Well, Chilton's certainly in the competition, isn't he? For the most height on one of those curbs. Jackson, as you say, had dropped back a little bit, and Chilton really now trying to show whether he can get past the Honda of Gordon Shedden. Boorman is still our race leader, and as he comes around this time, it will to go on to his 21st lap. Up over the hill they come. In the background you can see Andrew Jordan, he's still in 8th place with Onslow Cole behind him. Dave Newsham is in 10th, and then Nick Foster in 11th. And there you can see that little group behind, all fighting for position, with the Chevy of Alex McDowell at the back of the group. He's in 12th place. Talking to his dad earlier, who's had many race wins here at Knockhill over the years in the Scottish Saloon Car Championships.
Yeah, this is where the action is, isn't it? The two Hondas and Chilton, and all of them trying to find the ideal line through there to get a run into Clark Curve, one of the two best overtaking places on the circuit.
Yeah, and this is where you've got to keep the momentum up, but try not to use too much curve and flick the car in the air. Down the backstretch, watch the bumps coming on down towards the hairpin. Shedden defending a little bit now. You're looking back from Neal at Shedden, who's got that blue and white Ford right there on his bumper, and Jackson's closed up again.
Yeah, I think Matt Neal's just holding these guys up a little bit. That is his natural line in the middle of the road into the final hairpin, but he still gets a good exit, as you see.
Yeah, so still got 5 or 6 laps to go in this one, and There are the leaders. Look, Collard has caught Boardman now, Tim. So is the BMW now coming into its own as we get into the closing stages of the race?
Yeah, it's BMW time now for sure, and Collard will do anything to get a victory. You know that. We saw that up at Croft. This is a great chance. He's got a real good chance. He's going to put Boardman under massive pressure.
Yes, remember, Tom Boardman has never won a British touring car race. Rob certainly has. He took his first ever win here at Knockhill in an MG.
He did, one of the famous MGs, so this race has been kind to Rob in the past.
Yeah, but Boardman, well, what a day it would be if he could hang on to take victories. I tell you what, Collard is now really coming close. Remember, it is still turbo versus non-turbo. Collard is in a normally aspirate. Oh, that's Jackson. Oh no, again.
Three races with damage and 3 non-finishes.
This was on board with with Shedden. Now that was Shedden. Oh, so what happened next? Trying to work it out. Well, we'll have to have another look at that in a minute.
Well, we didn't see what happened to Jackson because Chilton was behind that, and, and then Jackson was behind Chilton. So it seems like the 2 Hondas have got away with that, but we haven't seen. There's Jackson.
Oh dear. No points at all from leading the championship. He'll go away with one.
This is the onboard with Jackson.
Okay.
Coming up behind Chilton. I think. Actually, I think Jackson hit Chilton hit Shedden, and Shedden hit Neil.
Yeah.
I think it was the concertina effect.
But the hit has damaged something on Jackson's car. Because it was his car that stopped. So.
Yeah.
Well,
but I think he initiated all that concertina.
Yeah, so in a way he's only got himself to blame, but he had to go for it, try and get something out of today. But the result is nothing, I'm afraid. We're on lap 24 out of 27. This is the battle for the win here at Knockhill between 2 great favourites of the fans in British touring cars, Tom Boardman and Rob Collard. They both have their followers. Seat versus BMW. This is great stuff, and we've still got a few laps to go.
Well, it'd be fantastic for Tom Boardman. He's had so much bad luck in this series, and I dare say he'll have another fight with Plato and the clerk of the course after this race. So not necessarily the result you see on the track will be the final result, but I do hope for Tom's sake he can pull off his first victory. Always good to see seasoned campaigners get their first victory in this series.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, we'll have to see what they think about the incident with Plato later, because there was definitely some contact there in a crucial part of the corner. But for the moment, Boardman is leading this race, and Collard throwing everything he can at trying to go close up to the Seat through the twiddly bits, because that's where he knows he's got a chance. Another fierce reaction from the driver today. We've seen Jason Plato react, and now we've seen Matt Jackson out of this 3rd race as well.
Yeah, the championship pressure builds, doesn't it, as we get closer and closer to the end of the year. There's more and more at stake, but to have come all the way up here to Knockhill and a little bit of contact as Collard just locked up a little bit coming into the hairpin. 2 laps to go. They're closer than ever now. Yeah, frustration from Matt Jackson, sorry.
Well, let's just see. Over the line they come then, with those 2 laps still to go now. That's not a long distance, it's only a 1.3-mile track. Can Boardman hold on for a famous first ever win in British touring cars? Or can Rob Collard find just enough space to squeeze the eBay BMW past him? Let's wait and see. Up over the rise they come. Surely no space to get through there. Boardman holding it beautifully. So easy to get that wrong when you're under this kind of pressure. But so far so good from Tom Boardman. He holds his nerve. He keeps the car in one straight line, only just, and it's just going to be the hairpin and 1 more lap to go.
Yeah, we know. Well, Rob knows he's followed him enough laps now to see where he's vulnerable, where he's got an advantage. It certainly isn't here after the straights or into the first corner, but it is on the section down it. Oh, it's pushing, but he'll lose distance up the hill with a turbocharged Seat Leon getting away from it.
Yeah, nothing he can do on that section of track. It all comes down to the next section. This is where Collard has been so strong all day. This was the area, the next couple of corners, where he was able to pass Plato and Jackson earlier today. He's not quite close enough, though, to do the move that he did on them, because Boardman carries just enough speed through there. Collard up over the rise. He can't find a way to get past that Seat. Boardman again, beautiful through the chicane. No mistakes from him. Now he's just got 2 corners to go.
Yeah, and he's coming into the strongest part now. This straight for him. He's got the turbo power, should be able to get him away enough to just defend into the last corner, and then certainly up the hill to the start-finish line. He defends well.
Collard goes deep, but can he cut back? But now it's turbo power. Surely Tom Boardman will have it on the run to the flag. He goes one way and the other. It's Tom Boardman who takes his first ever win in the British Touring Car Championship, and that is an amazing result for Tom Boardman and the Special Tuning Racing team. Second goes to Collard. Third goes to Frank Rathel, who gets a second podium today. Matt Neal finishes in 4th. Gordon Shedden finishes in 5th place. Chilton is 6th, Jordan is 7th, Onslow Cole 8th, Foster 9th, and McDowell got the final point in 10th place. But Tom Boardman has done it at last. He has come through to win a round of the British Touring Car Championship, the 27-year-old from Forton in Lancashire, who has fought hard for several seasons. Of course, 2010 was actually his first full season in the main class of British Touring Cars. He'd run in the production class of British Touring Cars way back in 2001. He was a former star in the T-Car Championship. He's a former Mini Stocks and Autocross champion, but today he has come through to take the win. There is a question mark. There was a contact with Jason Plato that was the reason that Plato went off. It was down through those first couple of corners. It was the faintest of touches, but it was the reason that Plato went off. But after that, Boardman drove beautifully and has taken the win.
Yeah, and obviously there was the restart as well after the safety car, so there will be certainly some discussion, but yeah, great drive by him under severe pressure from Collard behind, and well, we'll wait to see, but an interesting third race, as always.
Yeah, always entertaining. Frank Rathel, an excellent third place again for the NGTC Toyota. And this is the result of round 21. Boardman the winner from Rob Collard. Frank Rathel a solid third. The 2 Hondas then gaining yet more points in their task to try and win the championship. Tom Chilton in 6th, Jordan in 7th, Onslow Cole in 8th, Nick Foster in 9th, followed by Alex McDowell in the Silverline Chevy. Dave Newsham just outside the points, as was Daniel Welsh in the Proton, but that's a great result for Welsh, and well done to the team. Andy Neate 13th, Jeff Smith 14th, James Nash down in 15th ahead of Liam Griffin, Chris James, poor old Matt Jackson, John George and Martin Byford. So let's just see, the Hondas have certainly had a good day today, and Gordon Shedden has an advantage of just 1 point over his teammate. And as I say, it looks more and more like a true tussle between the two of them. Matt Jackson still there in 3rd despite his miserable day. Jason Plato is in 4th, but very valuable points were lost in that race, and you could understand his anger afterwards. James Nash in 5th, Andrew Jordan in 6th place, and Nash and Jordan have had a big opportunity to close up in the independence points on Matt Jackson. The independence points are actually scored slightly differently, and that will be very close. Behind them, Chilton, Collard, McDowell, and our new race winner, Tom Boardman.